Oh, damn. Let me tell you something right now. I don't know what the hell I saw last night, but I will say this. It smells. It really, really smells. And I don't mean that in a good way, you know, smelling like myself. No, it don't smell like me. It smells really, really bad, okay? Cinderella herself with the Cinderella shoes, she ain't gonna keep me tied down today. I mean, I got a lot on my mind. Stoudemire, he ain't gonna keep me down. And I got a big boy present. My brother, my little big brother, my man, Big Perk is in the house. I hear he smells too, though. This is what happens when you sleeping in bathrooms on the plane instead of your seat. You didn't think I was gonna tell the world?
Full
You didn't think I was
laundry.
gonna tell the world? First takes in the house. Let's go.
Philadelphia, for the fourth time in the last 5 years, goes out in the Eastern Conference semis.
We wanted to see if we had enough time to put it together, and clearly we did not.
We tried to build a championship contender team so fast. We just came up a little short.
The goal was to win a championship, and it didn't happen. We all were not good enough.
And there's that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into First Take on this Feel Good Friday. As Stephen A. said, we are crewed up today. Amari and Big Perk getting adjusted there. You good, or you need some help?
No, I got it.
You're good?
You know what? You know what? I'm starting to be a pro at this right now.
Yeah, you
know
are.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, you are.
This
Stephen
ain't
A.,
that
of
late.
course.
It ain't that light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that when I got off the plane.
Yeah.
I figured that.
But this is a treat, Perk, to have you in the flesh. It's a special day, so let's get it.
That's right. Are you ready? You ready, big boy? Don't swing. You don't get to shrivel your face up in New York City, bro. You don't get to, you got to smile. You got to smile, you got to fake it. You got to act like you want to be here instead of that damn Southern California sunshine. You got to fake it.
I love New York.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good to see you, Molly.
Good to see you, too.
Know how mellow he is? Good to see you, Mom. Good to see you.
Oh, my goodness. Let's go. This is what I hate. When I'm ready to go, then you go on, and then you tell me, let's go. Get out of here. Jimmy Butler carries the Heat to the Eastern Conference Finals, scoring 14 of his 32 points in the third quarter as Miami beat Philly 99-90 in Game 6 to reach the East Finals for the second time in 3 years. It marked another early exit for the 76ers, who lost Danny Green to a potentially serious knee injury early. Then watch James Harden take just 2 shots in the second half. Here's Joel Embiid on that very subject, not holding back.
I'm sure, since we got him, everybody expected the Houston James Harden, but that's not who he is anymore. He's more of a playmaker. I thought, at times, could have been, as all of us, could have been more aggressive.
What do you see with this team in the near future? You said you're going to opt in.
Yeah, we're trying to win a championship, and that's the goal. So, whatever that looks like, to continue to build us individually, continue to get better, us as a unit, continue to get to know each other, find out what works, what doesn't work, and things like that.
To be clear, you plan on still opting in?
I'll be here. Yeah, I'll be here. Whatever makes this team, whatever allows this team to continue to grow and get better and do the things necessary to win and compete at the highest level.
Amari, this is First Take, so we're going to be bold out the gate, but I'm going to make Stephen A. start. Stephen A., is Harden the reason the Sixers were eliminated?
Yeah, he's most of the reason why. This was one of the most atrocious performances by a star in NBA playoff history. One of the things that's hard about sitting in this chair and tackling these subjects, you see, because you make enemies. And why do you make enemies? It ain't for talking about their personal life. I don't do that. It ain't for getting into stuff that's off the court. If you ain't in the police blotters or you ain't making headlines and stuff that everybody knows, I ain't got nothing to say. I'm talking about your game, the game that you put on display for millions of people watching on the tube and thousands of people in attendance. And because you say what you saw with your own 2 eyes, people will hate on you because they're more concerned with their brand than reality. But I don't give a damn. I'm going to say it anyway. James Harden was so bad last night, it almost looked like he did it on purpose. 2 shots. Kendrick Perkins, I was just on with this man on Get Up a little bit earlier, man, and I'll say it to you again. On crutches, on one leg, James Harden could get more than 2 shots off in an NBA game. I don't give a damn how much slippage he has. You can attempt more than 2 shots. I don't want to hear anything about Doc Rivers. I know because I've spoken to numerous people. Plays were called for James Harden, okay? James Harden was the point guard, had the ball in his hands. James Harden had ample opportunity, motivation from the standpoint that Jimmy Butler was giving it to everybody, averaging 27, 7, and 5 for the series on better than 50% shooting. And then on top of it all, you had Joel Embiid, poor Joel Embiid, cracked bone in his face, messed up thumb, like you said the other day, still hasn't fully recovered from his knee injury, but out there trying. Tyrese Maxey crying in the locker room post-game because it meant so much to him. He out there playing his heart out. And James Harden did literally nothing in 22 minutes and 52 seconds. So when you look at it from that standpoint, there is no way around this. I smell something. It was so bad, I thought it was almost intentional. And I'm watching, and I'm going to watch Daryl Morey like a fine-tooth comb. I'm going to watch the Philadelphia 76ers with all I have because I want to see what they're going to do in the days in the next couple of weeks or so. Because let me tell you something, I'm looking for a coaching change. They're going to blame Doc Rivers for this. They're going to scapegoat Doc Rivers for this. Because remember, James Harden, in the post-game last night, when asked about Doc Rivers, he said, next question. Next question. Didn't give him a vote of confidence, didn't do anything. We all know what that means. That means you don't necessarily want to play for that coach. And you pointing the finger at Doc Rivers and what have you. Doc Rivers, yes, do I think he did a good job? You're damn right considering the circumstances. Great job? No, because you didn't end up winning the championship. But should he deserve blame for this? Hell no. But he gonna get it because he's not the coach that Daryl Morey selected. Daryl Morey came after him. And obviously, Daryl Morey had his sights set on James Harden. And it is what it is, guys. It was a bad, bad, bad performance. There is no way around it. And as far as I'm concerned, it was so bad, it looked, I'm not saying it is because I don't know, it looked deliberate, Stat.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it did look intentional, right? Because it seems like James doesn't want Doc as a head coach. And he has history of, like, if he doesn't like something, he will shut down. And we saw last night that he shut down, and then the comments of saying, you know, next question in the post-game interview lets me know that he doesn't really agree with Doc being the head coach there. And so he shut down on this perk. And I think the ideal of it is that if that's the case, right, and you change coaches and you bring in Mike D'Antoni, what does that mean for Joel Embiid?
Go ahead, big boy.
You know what? I'm going to say this. I don't blame some of it. I don't blame part of it. I blame all of it on James Harden, right? Are we starting to see the pattern right now? Like, we go back to the Rockets days, okay? He get into it with Dwight Howard. Him and Dwight Howard don't see eye to eye. Dwight Howard out of there. All of a sudden, CP3 come in. Him and CP3 don't see eye to eye. CP3 out of there. Okay, Russ get there, Russ out of there. All of a sudden, he want out. He don't show up to training camp, and when he do come in, he's out of shape, force his way to Brooklyn. All of a sudden, he gets to Brooklyn with his guy, Kevin Durant, a guy that them two hadn't been talking in years because James Harden wanted KD to come to Houston when the KD decided to go to Golden State.
Yes.
Okay, so KD says, you know what? Come join this. Let's make a run at it now. Gives up Karis LeVert and Jared Allen, who they can use, by the way. And all of a sudden, James Harden bounced on Kevin Durant. Forget the Kyrie Irving situation. It's a pattern going, right? And all of a sudden, you get to Philly. All of a sudden, you get to Philly. And now, all of a sudden, you quit. You quit on Doc Rivers. You quit. 2 shots, you quit. You quit. Why? Because you want things to go James Harden way. And we're talking about a guy that's the top 75 greatest player of all time.
Right.
He need to turn in his
Wait,
damn
I just have to
jacket.
say one thing. We're saying he quit. We're saying this was intentional to blow a trip potentially to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like we're certain about this because
I feel that way because I didn't see this. This is a pattern, Molly. Sooner or later, if a person show you who they are, we have to believe them. Okay, and every single time, you don't just disappear like this and not be aggressive. You had a ball in your hands all the time.
Molly, let me explain. Let me elaborate on what Kendrick Perkins is saying just to crystallize this. When you are an offensive player, see, he was a defender and a rebounder and an enforcer. He was a scorer.
Yeah.
How long you been out of the league?
5 years or so.
Right now, if you walked onto the basketball court with zero training, could you take more than 2 shots and a half?
Absolutely.
Without question.
Yeah.
The point that we're making is we're not talking about you shot 4 for 30.
Yeah.
We're not talking about you scored 11 points. We're not even talking about the 22 minutes and 52 seconds you played in the second half. What we're saying is you had the ball in your hands. For you not to attempt but 2 shots is incredibly obvious and deliberate. There is no defense on the planet that could prevent an offensive player from attempting 2 shots while they're on the court with the ball in their hands.
Yeah.
You could jack up a shot, Molly. I mean, it's like somebody that gets into the ring with Mike Tyson. You might get knocked out, but you're trying to tell me you can't run for 20 seconds? I mean, then you can run for 20 seconds.
No, I'm just saying we can't gloss over that because that's the ultimate criticism of a player, to say they quit in the playoffs.
But let me tell you this. I think Kendrick Perkins, when Kendrick Perkins just broke down the history from Houston to Brooklyn to Philadelphia, I will say this. All right, I don't know that definitively, but James Harden is in no position to throw shade on Kendrick Perkins for what Kendrick Perkins just said, because we spitting facts. And so when you look at it from that perspective, okay, now we get to Daryl Morey. Because you Daryl Morey, and the reason why I gave James Harden 90% of it, the other 10% I'm going to reserve for Daryl Morey. Why? We all know that Daryl Morey, regardless of, I'm not saying it was an official offer, but there was a scuttlebutt. There was noise about a C.J. McCollum and a Robert Covington. Okay? You could have got those for James Harden. I'm sure there were other offers. The point is, everybody and their mother knew he wanted James Harden, which was why Sean Marks held out. Because he knew you wanted James Harden come hella high water. Doc Rivers is not the coach you hired. You came in after Doc Rivers was there. So you got aspirations for your own system, your own coach, your own guy. James Harden, you were in Brooklyn. You know, you said what you just said. You know why? Because you experienced it firsthand. So he wants out of Brooklyn because he wants to get with Daryl Morey.